And let me get back to you guys.
Fantastic.
Good morning. Good morning. Hi, Michael.
I'm getting a sip on my phone.
Hi.
Michael, that's the least enthusiastic I've ever heard you sound.
I literally just rolled out of bed. I was like, oh, it's 9:15. Let me hop on. So that's why I'm not
glad you're here.
That's why I'm not showing my beautiful face. I still look like a hot mess.
Okay.
I doubt it.
I'll be here and listen to you, and then when I get prepped and ready, I'll show my beautiful face.
Okay, that sounds great.
Sounds great.
Well, we are so glad you are here with us today. What did Julie just say?
I didn't say anything. I was trying to shut my phone off.
Oh, okay. And I probably should turn my volume down. That's a great idea too, just so we don't get interrupted. Someone once told me that when you're involved on a live, just put your phone on airplane mode. I'm like, well, that's a good way to do it. Anyway, we are here this Saturday morning, and I think it is August 6th, and we are doing continuing business education on our, I don't even know what it's called, Basic Business 101, or this group we're in.
So many titles.
Yeah, there are. And, you know, actually, we're doing this back to school class online, not online, starting tomorrow. Anybody interested? And somebody said, but I don't know if I want to join another group. And I said, it's no big deal. Just join. You'll be in there 2 days and then you're done. You know? So can't you turn a group off? I don't know that.
I think you can archive a group, but yeah.
Okay. Okay. So anyway, the topic today is loyalty rewards and why it's the smartest way to get your product and why it's very important to understand all aspects of the loyalty rewards. And so first off, Julie has something to say.
So before you go on, Bobby, because we are casting this live into our group, I would love for anybody to share what is their favorite things in the comments. Share your favorite things about Loyalty Rewards program.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can go on, Bobby.
Yes.
We're trying to make this interactive. It's hard to do when we're not all in the same room together.
Yeah. And I will address that in a little bit too. And actually, we'll just be rambling about a lot. Loyalty rewards. So the first thing that I want to do is make sure, and everybody in this group should know, how you earn loyalty reward points. We'll discuss why it's important to have 100 PV in your loyalty order at all times, how to find your loyalty points, when they load into your back office, how do you know you're getting your points, why it's important to order on a loyalty order every time you order, even if it's under 50 PV. How to redeem your points and what are good products to redeem your points on. Do I lose my points?
Are you going to cover all of these? Is this what you're talking about today? Each one of these things?
We are, but it's going to be just very quickly, Julie.
Okay, so start at the first one and just dive in.
Yeah. So, okay, because I know we're only on here 25, 30 minutes. Okay, so the difference between, well, actually, here, I just pulled up FAQs. What is the difference between points and PV? PV is your personal volume. Points are not the same thing. When you order products, they are assigned to PV, which is product volume. These are what you are paid commissions on, ranks and promotions and everything else. You will earn your fast start and your commission checks off of your PV points. When will points be added to your account? The 15th of every month. So sometimes I'll get a message from somebody, my points aren't here. Well, it's not the 15th. So that's when they load in. The other thing I do want to mention on that, just be very aware that when somebody's enrolling with a kit, they're not earning points the month that they do get started with doTERRA. Will my points expire? Yes, after 12 months. So if you've got points accrued, be sure and redeem them every once in a while. I encourage people not to just redeem points for a box of gum or a bottle of shampoo, because doTERRA does charge $3 every time you redeem points. So wait till you get 70, 80, or 100, but be sure and do them on an occasion. What did Michael just say in a chat, Julie?
Michael said, I love racking up my points so that I can redeem products that I wouldn't buy because of price. But Bobby, can we go back 1 second and just mention, so when you have your membership, and everybody that's watching right now has a doTERRA membership because you're in our Life Builders group, when you go to place an order, there are 2 ways that you can order from doTERRA once you have your membership. You can do a standard order or a loyalty rewards program. From this point forward, LRP is how we call that. I did jot in the notes, there is a leader that calls them living right practically points. And I love that, because when we shift where we spend our dollars, that's really where the power comes into play with LRP. So you can place a standard one-time order. So when you log in on the front page, if you already have your LRP in place, which all of us should have, it'll say edit your LRP, or it says standard one time. We do not encourage any of us as builders to place standard orders. We do not encourage our customers to place standard orders, because it's the LRP volume that empowers them to be living right practically, and it also lays that foundation for earning an income. So I just wanted everybody to understand there is that standard order, but loyalty rewards program comes with all of these benefits that's Bobby is starting to talk about.
Well, and a good example is, say that Sally Sue places an 80 PV LRP, and next week she orders a 25 PV on a standard order. And say Sally Sue is on Julie's front line. And so Julie needs 3 people on her front line with over 100 PV to get her power $350. We should all understand this. Well, Sally Sue is Julie's 3rd person. She did 80 PV on a loyalty order and 20 PV on a standard order. Oh my gosh, Julie's not going to get her 50 power 3. So that's a good example. When we're training our people, just always order on a loyalty order, because you don't know when there's going to be a promo added, a BOGO added, or whatever. But you're all doing this as a business, so that's how we should be training. So can I use my products to purchase any product? And how many points do I need? So when you're redeeming your points, and say you've got 250 points, and I want to get a couple bottles of Melissa. Let's say you have 200 points, and I don't even know how many Melissa is. You just need to make sure you have more points than the price of the bottle. So say you've got 69 points and you want a bottle of Melissa, and you put Melissa in there and you try and hit that redeem button. Well, it's not going to work, because you don't have enough points to cover the price of Melissa. You know, sometimes people think, well, why can't I pay the difference? Loyalty reward point redemption does not work that way. So when you're redeeming your points, you need more points than the amount of points on the product you're trying to get. Does that make sense, Julie? You're kind of looking at me funny.
Yeah, it does. So when you're editing your LRP, at the very top, it tells you how many points you have. When you put a product in the cart, there's a little button with a down arrow when you want to redeem your points. And like Bobby said, as long as the points you have in your, what we call it is the bank, are greater than the PV of that product, you can redeem it. But not all doTERRA products are redeemable with your points. So Lifelong Vitality, I think it's gone back and forth, but I don't think it's redeemable, because if it is redeemable, you need like 300 and some odd crazy points. So there are some products that you're not able to redeem your points. And I'm sure some of that has to do with supply and demand. Some of that has to do with stocking in the warehouse and that sort of a thing. So a great majority of our products, though, you can use your reward points too. I do also want to mention, for example, toothpaste, I think is $9.50, but it's 5 PV. When you go to redeem your points to get your toothpaste for free, they will take out they'll take out $9.50 of your points, not the product value of that.
So that is one thing I want to bring up, and Amy Baumitz is a great one to train on this. When you're redeeming points, it's wise to redeem for oils rather than household products, laundry pods, mouthwash, things like that. So redeem your points for oils and purchase your vitamins and your shampoo and your skincare is the wiser way to do it. So how do I know how many points I have? As Julie mentioned, it's when you go to your profile, it's shown on that page. And also when you have your loyalty order open, it shows it on the top of the page also. We covered the difference between loyalty and standard. Everybody knows how to redeem by pressing the down arrow. If somebody has a loyalty order set up and it comes on a certain date and they don't want to mess with it and they need more products, I encourage people set up a second loyalty order reward. Do not date it at the beginning of the month, date it at the end of the next month. I need this product tomorrow. Why am I dating at the end of the month? I'm going to fill my cart. I'm going to redeem some points. I'm going to process what I want. I'm going to say process now. Then tomorrow when I open it up, it's dated at the end of the month. And so I have time to go in and cancel that second LRP. This has happened to some of my team members before. They set up a second loyalty order. They put tomorrow as the date. They process the order, and then the first of next month comes and they didn't get rid of that LRP, and they don't think to get on there the first of the month. So always, if you're doing multiple LRPs, date it at the end of the month, because you can process it whenever you want and it gives you more time to cancel that order.
Maybe this is a good thing to mention when we're talking with our customers and ourselves as well. So Bobby mentioned doing a second LRP. It's really easy to cancel a second LRP or a third LRP. You just open your template, go to the bottom, and there will be a box that says cancel this LRP. And so that person falls away. Michael's got a question coming up in a second. But you cannot cancel the original LRP without calling into doTERRA. I want to encourage people. I have had team members that have called me up and said, I am confused. I need to cancel my LRP, or we've had a shift in our income. I need to cancel my LRP, trying to save money, that sort of a thing. I would encourage you to set up a time to really have a conversation so they're understanding what they are giving up before they do that. An instance not too long ago, a friend was getting ready to go out of town and she did not have time to edit. And she's like, just cancel it. I said, it's a Sunday and you're getting on a plane tomorrow. You cannot call doTERRA. And I could tell that she was tense. So I said, let me hop in, give me your password. I'm going to do exactly what Bobby said. I shifted her date to a date, because that's one of the great things with the LRP is you can go in and shift the date that it ships. Now, for all of us as builders, we want free product, right? Every single month, doTERRA says, thank you for your loyalty order. And they send us a free product when our order is 125 PV on or before the 15th of the month. So as builders, we should be ordering at least 125 on or before the 15th of the month. But anyway, I set her date later so that when she got back from her trip, I went over to her house. She said, you could tell I was tense when I had you on the phone. I said, absolutely. She had all of the oils she already owned sitting out on her counter, all of the supplements on her table. We sat down. She had sticky notes. We went through every single product. She put a sticky note with each one of the products. And she said, okay, I need to get this, this, and this, and this. She kept her LRP in place. She wanted the free product of the month. So we moved it up before the 15th of the month. I showed her so that she was learning by practice how she can put things in, how she can redeem her points, how she can remove things. And she set up her LRP. So she had her next month ready to go. She didn't truly want to get rid of her LRP, but had I not asked those questions, she would have lost out, because she said to me multiple times, I love doTERRA. I love these products. I feel so good using them. This woman had just been up in Alaska, 70 years old, climbing glaciers. She said 5 years ago, no way could she have done that. So I just want to remind everybody, we're serving people, we're helping people. Loyalty Rewards program is an amazing program, and none of us should be embarrassed or fearful from educating our customers on how and why to use the Loyalty Rewards program. Michael, you got a question?
I was just gonna say how I use my loyalty rewards is I have one set up always on the second. It's my vitamins. It's my the Lifelong Vitality and the other supplements that I take every single day. That does not change. And then I have a second one that I have like in the 15th or the 16th. That is my like, oh, I need this. Oh, I ran out of that kind of one. And then I do exactly what Bobby does. When I'm ready and I've got all of what I think I'm done for the month, I will then just hit process now and not necessarily wait till the end of it comes up. So, and I got that idea from what Bobby told me about some person she met. She has one that always comes out on one date and then has the second one. And that's how it works. It works out really well for me. So I know I always get what I get, but then I also have my second one set up for like whatever I want.
Because there's always something we're out of. Yeah. And so I want to point out, and I just typed in, everybody needs dishwasher soap, laundry soap, toothpaste, shampoo, skincare. Why would anybody not want a loyalty order? And if somebody goes to LRPs, well, if you are shifting your dollars and not buying these things at big box stores, you're helping yourself out. You're building residual income and you're using non-toxic products. So that is one reason to have 1, 2, or 3 loyalty orders. And that's all I got to say there. So how do I remove items from my loyalty order? We all on this call or group should know how to do this, but I'm just going to bring it up because some people have asked. So if you open your loyalty order template and you try and go XXXXX, it's going to give you an error message. You have to leave one thing in there. So I train people, add what you want, then go X out what you don't want. Then be sure and hit the save button, because if the phone rings or the doorbell rings and you leave, you come back, log back in tomorrow, your stuff's not saved. You didn't hit the save button. So free product of the month, Julie did mention. Go ahead.
That is one of the reasons my friend got frustrated, is she was trying to edit her LRP before she went on her trip, and she exited everything out. And then she thought she lost everything and she was frustrated. And so that is a powerful point. Put in what you're going to order and then remove those products that you don't.
And the other thing on frustration, if any of you or your team, you get a text or message about frustration, or a Marco, which I get a week after the fact, be sure and let them know. If you send me a question or call me and I don't respond within 24 hours, pick up the phone and call me again, because I don't want anybody to be frustrated. The other thing is, all they have to do is chat online with doTERRA or call doTERRA, and doTERRA's phone number is everywhere. You just Google it and you can get it. So
let me just tell you, if you want their number, it's 1-800-411 8151, I think.
And
I think it's 8151.
I encourage you to put it as doTERRA number in your phone.
Contacts.
And I also then, speaking of that, when you're enrolling people, put their name in your phone and put their doTERRA ID under notes or under the company name or somewhere. And that way you always have their ID. If they're getting frustrated logging in, and you don't have to go log in and find it, it's right there. So we should all know that the first quarter of ordering 50 or more LRP, you're earning from 10%. The second quarter, 15, third quarter, 20, fourth quarter 25 after a year 30.
Yay.
And Michael's
That was a
there.
blast.
Cool beans.
Wait, you're
So
muted, Michael. You're muted, Michael. You're muted.
Sorry. My 1 year is this month, so I'm excited.
Yay.
Okay. So we are excited for you too. And then that's the next thing I do want to mention. When somebody reaches that 30% receiving power because they've been ordering 50 or more for a year, and then a month comes around and something's happened, somebody's got to have surgery, the car broke down or whatever, you have the ability to order one item and you're not going to lose your points. Now, if you've got a team doing 1,000 or more volume, you want to keep 10 lemon in your cart. But Julie, let's address that really quick because time's moving on. We as builders in this group should always keep 100 PV in our cart. We're builders, our social security numbers in there. We want to replace our income or supplement our income or earn fast start checks. You never know when somebody will go to your website and go, oh, I think I need this doTERRA kit. It could be a natural solutions kit. It could be an every oil kit. But if you've got 80 PV or 70 PV or 50 PV in your loyalty order, say that Susie Joe decides she's going to get on the back to school class tomorrow and she's going to invite 10 of her friends and every single one of them get the Healthy Start Kit. You got 10 at 100 PV is 1,000 PV. You don't have 100 PV in your cart. You're not going to get fast start on what your friend just created. So it's very important as a builder when you're wanting to earn commissions and fast starts to keep 100 PV in your cart. Okay.
Just remember when we have talked about the power of three, or excuse me, fast start, we are paid down 3 levels. So let's just say, well, Bobby enrolled me. Let's say I enrolled Michael. And let's say Michael is out there sharing all over town and he's enrolling people every single day. So if I've enrolled Michael, I'm earning 10%, Michael's earning 20% on his people, and Bobby's earning 5% on when Michael enrolls someone. And this is that passive income. This is how this really starts laying your pipeline. When you've linked arms with people that really want to live this lifestyle and they're out empowering people. And so if Bobby has 80 PV in her cart, in her template, let's call it the LRP template, fast start commissions are paid every single Wednesday. So even if Bobby had placed a $200 order herself on the first of the month, but then her template for next month is at 28 PV, she's not going to earn on what some of her builders under her are doing. And that's why you keep 100 PV in your cart at all times, because the computer's just out there looking. It's Wednesday, and who are the enrollers that are above Michael, who's been doing this fantastic job? Oh, Bobby's not going to earn because she only has 20 something in her cart. So that's why you keep that 100 PV in your cart at all times. And this is a lesson learned from me. I almost missed out on about a $300 commission because I had some team members doing some amazing work, and I had 98 PV in my cart because I'd been playing around and closed out and didn't look at that purple number. Always look at that purple number to see where it's at. But I want everyone to know doTERRA is amazing and they are for us all of the time. So I picked up the phone, I called them. You're allowed one oops with every different way of earning an income with doTERRA. Mm-hmm. And so they said, do you want to use your oops this time? Or do you want to wait until it's a $4,000 mistake? And I said, no, that $300 is important to me. So I want to use it this time. And I've never had my template below 100 since.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, good point. So I was going to address shipping because recently there's been some changes on shipping. Anybody that does 100 PV order gets free shipping. And so an interesting thing is when the BOGO came around last week, the BOGO was maybe 97 PV. And so Sister Julie said, well, throw in a lip gloss or throw in a bar of soap or whatever, so that, spend $3, $4 and get $6.99 free. And so that was a good point. Yeah. And the other thing, be aware, because like my son closed his order the other day and it was $141, but it was 89 PV. And so be aware that the dollar amount and the PV, and we should all know that, don't jive, but watch the PV for commission purpose. So does anybody have any questions on Facebook? Julie, can you see that?
No, I don't know that anybody's on Facebook. It's just-
Okay. Okay.
hopefully people will watch the replay later.
Yeah. So Michael's here. Do you have any questions, Michael? I mean, you've been doing this for almost a year now.
No, I feel like I'm almost an expert.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Okay.
I've got a few things to bring up with LRP. When
Okay.
you have your template open, you're going to go to the bottom of the page and there's a box that says for personal use. Check that off, because when it's personal use, you are now paying tax on wholesale price instead of retail price. That's a huge savings.
Mhm.
Now, if you are, when you place your order, if you are then taking and selling the products that you've purchased, selling it retail to someone, then don't mark that, because what doTERRA does is they collect the tax that then they send, I believe, to your state.
Mhm.
So then it's one less thing that you're messing with. So that's the benefit of that box.
Mhm.
So I need it checked or I don't need it checked?
You do when you're
If
using.
you, yeah, if you are using the products personally, then you want to check it. But let's say you order those 10 lemon and then you have a friend that loves lemon and you're selling it to them retail, you are required to receive tax from them. But if you're so don't check that if that's what you're doing with your order. So if
Okay.
you're buying your frankincense or whatever with the intent that you are collecting a stock so that you can sell it for retail to people, then don't check that. doTERRA is keeping the tax, collecting the tax for you, and then they're sending that on. But if you do mark that it's for personal use and then you go sell something retail, just know you are required by law to be collecting the tax from them and then reporting that to your state.
Okay.
I don't like to be the Avon person. I don't like I had somebody come and say, can you, I want a bottle of such and such. And I said, well, I don't keep an inventory. Here's my website. You can go order it retail yourself. But that's something good to know. The other thing is at the bottom of that page, you can click the button that says give $1 to the Healing Hands Foundation. 100% of what doTERRA collects through that goes to making the world a better place. doTERRA corporate actually covers the administration of that program. And so that's why 100%. So, you hear sometimes people give to United Way or whatever, and then you see what their administrative costs, you're giving $1, but really only X number of cents is going to the cause that you wanted. So that was another thing I wanted to bring up. Ordering on a standard order, shipping is $6.99. Ordering on an LRP order, when the volume is under 100, shipping is $6.99, but doTERRA gives you 5 PV back as a thank you. So that's something to be aware of. As business builders, we don't teach this as a practice, but it is good to know if your LRP is at 50 PV, and this is the only time doTERRA pays you 2% on your front line. So you might notice it's called it used to be called an accounts payable.
AR.
There's an AR account. And at the
balance.
bottom, so I had a gal call me one time and she goes, Julie, I have $279 in this thing. How'd I get these dollars? And she was thinking that they were reward points. And I said, no, those are cash dollars. You have collected $2 and $8 and $10. So when your commission, be it Fast Start or
Unilevel.
commissions, on the 15th, if that check would be under $12, doTERRA does not write you a check, or they don't put it into your direct deposit account. If you've submitted a voided check for that, they put those dollars there. And so that's what that is about. And you can apply that to your order.
Yeah, it's like cash, right?
Is that the only way you can redeem that credit, is by applying it to it, or can they send you a check? Do you
I
know
think
that?
you can reach out to doTERRA, but it's going to have to be over $12. But I think you can reach out to doTERRA and say, hey, my AR is over whatever.
I think I racked mine up to like 26 now or something like that. So I was just curious.
Yeah. But it's really easy. Then you can just say apply to my current order.
Mhm. Okay, so we are at 9:45 and a little long, and we've got another call, but I want to bring up a couple other things. And so if you've got money built up or you don't need anything in your loyalty order this month, remember that you've got friends and family possibly that do need doTERRA. So use some of your points possibly to redeem for one of those loved ones. Or Julie, can you explain just very quickly I don't remember the name of it, Hygiene Kit.
So you might not be aware, but doTERRA has hygiene kits that they keep stocked. And the hygiene kit has, I think, a bath bar, toothpaste, a toothbrush, maybe a towel, washcloth. I don't know. There's probably 10
Deep
items
Blue,
in this thing.
Melaleuca.
Yeah, and they maybe some On Guard, but these are created for times of stress that are going on. If there's
Devastation.
been a natural activity like a flood or an earthquake or a fire or something like that, we as wellness advocates can reach out to doTERRA and say, there is a need in my community, and they will ship boxes of those for you to distribute, maybe to your American Red Cross, things like that. So in 2019, in the community I live in, major flooding. And so all across the state of Nebraska, Iowa, Missouri, Kansas. And so many of us as wellness advocates reached out. So these products, every single one of us can purchase these. So I've had times where I'm fully stocked on what I need, but I know because I'm earning an income, my LRP needs to be at 100. So I just go in and I type in hygiene kit, and you can order one at a time. They're $25 and you get 25 PV for them. doTERRA does not send them to you. They keep them in their warehouse so they can distribute them when wellness advocates reach out. So it's just another way to empower communities and empower wellness advocates to care for people. And it's a way for all of us as builders to hit that volume that we need. And what I love is it's one-to-one. So I spend $150 and I get 150 PV. And because I earn at 30%, that means doTERRA is giving me 45 points. And I get free shipping. So for me, it's a definite win-win-win. I think even this month, I'm ordering 2 of them to get my LRP to where I need it to be. So yeah, it's a fantastic program.
And actually, Julie, 25 PV times 30% is more than what you just said, but that's a good point on that too. So I just wanted everybody to be aware of that. If you're earning 30% back on your PVs.
Well, I said I did 6 of them, so that was 150 PV. Times
okay.
30% is 45.
Okay, $45. Yeah, good deal. So
I thought I did the
anyway,
math right.
yeah, thanks for joining us. We've got lots to talk about, but this is business and we'll move on. And if
If you
not
have questions and you're watching the replay, please do #replay. And also please just share your questions there. We follow the feed, and so we will respond there in case you didn't hit on the thing that is important to you.
And I want to just say, I'm reading out of Desiree's book, but it says, you don't matter just a little, you matter a lot. So we love you all. And we really should be doing some stuff about convention because there's all sorts of goodness coming out, but that's just going to have to be another time and another day.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.
So, have a happy Saturday, everybody. Michael, we'll see you on the next call.